Hello, YouTube coin collection and stackers. Today we're going to be talking about commemorative silver dollars. I've done other videos on these and talk about why I believe these are excellent to stack. Before we get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm bumping into things with my new setup. I sincerely appreciate it, and as always, thank you for watching. So yesterday, I got a call from my local coin shop that they had bought 650, that's correct, 650 of these commemorative silver dollars. And did I want to come down and have a look through them? So, of course, I did. And the even better part was, yesterday only they were selling them below spot. So that's the other crazy thing about these. So, and we can all, argue, well, a lot of stuff selling below spot right now because silver is so crazy high, 13-year high, 14-year high, something like that right now. You got over $42 an ounce. So she was selling these for $32 each, which is just a hair under melt. I think say 50 cents under melt. But I went down and I like to collect these, and I'm trying to put together a full set. And so I got first crack at going through them, and I was able to pick out several, 10 here that I did not already previously have in my collection. So let's take a look at them, and as we do, I'm going to talk about why I like collecting these. So let me zoom in here. We can start with the first one. So this one here is a 2007 Little Rock, the desegregation in education. And what we see here is we see these little girls in their dresses being escorted to school by men in army fatigues. We can see the army boots and the fatigues on as happened when they were desegregating the schools. And there's the Little Rock Central High School on the reverse. So just a really nice design on this. This is uncirculated. This one here, the proof, so they, every year they come out with a proof. They come out with an uncirculated version or a business strike version. And on this one, they made 124,678 proofs, but only 66,093 of the uncirculated. And they always seem to make a lot less of the uncirculated, so they typically get a little bit of a premium. But again, this was under melt at $32, and I didn't have it, so I picked this one up as well. Another one that they had, which I did not have, is this Lewis Braille. And I think this is a really neat one. Really nice design. And again, why do I stack these? Well, I think they're interesting, for one. And for two, these guys don't circulate. So, for the price, or less probably than the price of a Cull Morgan or peace dollar, which oftentimes has been circulated, doesn't have the full silver weight in it, because some of that's worn off in circulation. They're dinged up, scratched up, and let's face it, other than some of the key dates we're looking for, they all kind of look the same. In this case, I'm getting the full amount of silver. These have not been circulated, and I'm getting all of these cool and interesting designs. So on the Braille, the uncirculated, they made 85,661 versus over 136,000 for the proof. This next one here is the 1994, and it was part of a series of, I believe, 3 different coins that celebrated veterans. And this is the women in the military version, 1994. This is the uncirculated one, as you can see, or the business strike one. You can see this one was minted in West Point. We can see there by the W. And this is the lowest mintage one of the group we're going to look at today, and probably one of the lowest mintage in total. I mean, this one uncirculated, this was only 27,176. So we think about all the people that rush to get, say, the 2025 Liberty medal, silver medal, the one with the flower on it. We still don't know how many of those they made. It might be under 30,000. So this is kind of in that same boat, except no premium on this. This was just touch under melt to pick this up. So very interesting for only 27,000 of those made. This next one is a much higher mintage, but this is D-Day. This is the what's it called, the anniversary of World War II that came out. This is a proof version of this. They made a lot of these in both of the uncirculated and proof. Obviously, like I said, this one's a proof. You can see the proof finish on. 342,000 of these were made versus 107,000 for the uncirculated version of the D-Day. This next one I thought is really cool, and I didn't have one. This is the old mint, the Granite Lady is what they called it, the old San Francisco mint. And there she is. This is the uncirculated version of this, so only 65,609 of these were made versus over 200,000 of the proof. So that's like a 5-to-1 ratio. And what I love about this one is it's got the Morgan reverse on it, which is really neat, with the S Mint mark and all of that. So I really like this one with the Morgan reverse. I think that is super, super cool coin. And again, really for the uncirculated, low mintage, 65,609. This is the U.S. Capitol from 2001. This is the one for the Visitor Center, I believe. It says right here. So this is, U.S. Capitol Visitor Center. And if you recognize that reverse there, that's similar to what you would see on a double eagle gold coin from the 1800s. They would have a very similar type of reverse on it, which is super neat. And this U.S. Capitol is just a hair above the women in the military. So this uncirculated, well, first I'll tell you the proofs. They made 143,793 proofs of this, but only 35,380 of the uncirculated. So, like I said, just a hair above or a touch above the women in the military, but those are very, very low if you think about the numbers. To be able to pick these up for $32 each, to me, is pretty well a steal. And the fact that these coins, as beautiful as they are so underappreciated for the designs. I mean, this is the White House from 1992. This is the proof, obviously. So the uncirculated was just a touch under 124,000. This one was just a touch under 376,000. And this is, you can see James Hoban there. He's the architect that designed the White House. So this was to commemorate his design of the White House. And just another really, really pretty coin. If you just look at the detail, just the detail on the windows, on the strike of the White House, even in the flag, just stunning coins. The next two are basically two flavors of the same. We'll start with the proof, and this is the Edison. So this is the proof version, 2004 Philly, and this one was 211,055 for the $1 Edison proof. And we can compare that to the uncirculated. I was able to actually pick up both the uncirculated and proof. Now, oftentimes I like the uncirculated better for me. I think you can see the design better, but compared to the other one, this one is 92,150. So, like 40% the mintage of the proof. Now, the last one I thought was very interesting. This was it's not a U.S. coin, you'll notice. It was made, the U.S. Mint teamed up with the government of Iceland to make this, and it was made alongside and marketed alongside the Leif Erikson coin, which is one of the key dates of the U.S. commemorative dollar series. This is the Iceland version, 1,000 kroner. I think it's a really neat coin. This 1,000 kroner, they made 102,083 of these, so still relatively low mintage, and I believe it's the only Leif Erikson coin that U.S. Mint and Iceland teamed up on together. And it's just got some really neat designs kind of baked into it there with the different animals and the Nordic gods and stuff like that. Really, really neat coin. And when we were kind of questioning this, what is this doing in here with all of the commemoratives? This seems a little strange. We had to do a little research on it to figure out that it was actually marketed by the U.S. Mint as part of the Leif Erikson series. So that is my pickups that I was able to grab 10 commemorative dollars out of a $650 dump that somebody had done at my local coin shop, and it allowed me to fill some holes in my commemorative collection. Again, why do I stack commemorative dollars? Well, anytime you can pick anything up under melt, that makes a lot of sense, although we could all argue that maybe silver is going to go down a little from here. But I'll say, these guys were selling for not that much under $32. I think for a time you could get them for around $20, $28, $29. But they always seem to be right in that $30 range for these. Again, you're getting the full amount of silver in it. You're getting all sorts of neat and interesting designs. And in some cases, like whether it's the women in the military right here at 27,176, or the U.S. Capitol Visitor Center at 35,380, you're also getting some fairly low mintage coins that I think are just underappreciated for what they are and how few of them are made. Now, here's the other piece about this that I think is worth sharing. So these are all in the capsules here, as you can see. And I said, well, what are you going to do with the rest of these? And what I was told was, well, whatever we don't sell this weekend goes to the smelter. So that's going to be, well, these are 10, right? So whatever else got sold. So let's say she sold 50 of them or whatever. So 600 of these go into the smelter. And so even of some of these lower mintage ones, that's a pretty interesting thing. So how many of these are going to the smelter right now when we have the ability to pick them up as underappreciated as they are at this moment in time for below melt? That's all I have for you guys today. As always, thank you for watching and happy collecting.